Hello, my nerdlings. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. Welcome to my channel where we get nerdy. So this is kind of an unofficial book tag. Jade from Jade Reads did this, I want to say it was last year, during Vita. And it's Bookish Wheel of Emotions. So I want to, Pletchik is the doctor. It's a psychological thing where all emotions stem off from 8 core emotions. And she made a prompt for each of those emotions. And then you have a book. So I said, why not try it? Because I was running out of ideas for booktube videos. And I didn't know what else to do. So, question number 1, or technically, emotion number 1 is joy. A book that brought you pure joy. And I'm going with Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. Not just this one, but also Daughter of the Siren Queen. The whole duology. I absolutely loved it. I love Alosa. She is a fun female heroine. I love the storyline and the basis of everything. It was a quick and easy read. I didn't have to think too much. It was just something easily digestible, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, a book that brought me joy. Next, trust, which, if I remember correctly, is an author I trust I will love what they write. And I was struggling on this one because I wanted to do Trisha Levenseller or Elizabeth Lim or, Carrie Maniscalco. But I didn't want to keep repeating myself with certain authors. So I tried to have as much diversity in this as I could. So I picked Susan Dennard, who wrote the Witchland series. Obviously, I love the Witchlands, since I did make Witch book based off from the Witchlands. This is Blood Witch, the 3rd book in the installment. I'm only holding up this one because Aduin's my favorite. So, Aduin is my favorite in the series. Him and Isolde are my 2 favorites, so that's why I decided to hold up Blood Witch and not any of the others. So, Fear, a book I am scared to pick up. And I think you can see why. This is a thick book. It's Empire of the Vampire by Jake Kristoff. It is 734 pages. She a biggin'. And I'm really scared to pick it up because that's a whole lot of reading. And it's very intimidating. That's all it is. I'm scared on the size. That's all it boils down to. It's a big book. I know. And I don't typically like vampire stories, so that's another reason. But I couldn't say no to how pretty this edition is. Like, look at these end pages. They're just so pretty. So. But I will read it someday. I honestly was expecting my friend Mikey to recommend this when I asked him for a book recommendation. Figured he would have picked the thickest book I had, but he didn't. So he must do love me. Next, a book you read that surprised you. I have not talked about this book, I think, on my channel because I read this before I started BookTube, and that was Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. So this is a Disney twisted tale about Mulan traveling to the underworld to save Captain Li Shang. I was surprised I liked it because I'm one of those type of people that I don't like when you do twists on my favorite stories. I like if they stay the same. And Mulan is my favorite princess. So I didn't want someone to ruin my Mulan for me. But this was done so incredibly well. Mind you, really serious? I bought this in 2018. And I never read it until 2020. Because that's just how I am. And this is how I fell in love with Elizabeth Lim as an author. And how I now have a bunch of her books. Not that I have read them, but I have 6 Crimson Cranes, Spin the Dawn, Unravel the Dusk, and I've already pre-ordered A Dragon's Promise. And I've only ever read one of her books. So, but I love this story. It's a cute story. Next is Sadness, a book that made you sad. This book tore my heart out of my chest. And that is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. I stopped for a second because my phone had a little weird thingy on it that never has that. So this is a story where you follow 4 generations of a family through Japanese colonization, through World War II, through the up until the 1960s. It's the early 1900s that you follow this story. And the family trials and tribulations that they go through break my heart every time. There's a K-drama now that they're doing based off from this, I want to say on Apple TV. I can't even bring myself to watch it because I know I'm going to cry. It's a sad story. It's a good story. It's a very good story. It's a story that needs to be told, but it still broke my heart. Then, Disgust, a book I did not like. Thunder Snow by Thomas J. Torrington. The only good parts of this book, in my opinion, everyone can have varying opinions, is the parts with the meteorologist. A 28-year-old that was born and raised in Maine is not stupid enough to go out and camp on an abandoned ski resort when you're about to have this freaking storm of the century. And it tells you that on the news. We're going to have the worst storm of the century. Stay inside. Hunker down. Go get your bread, your milk, your Allen's Coffee Brandy. That's it. No. Some dumbass decides to go camp on an abandoned ski resort because then he's going to have all the fresh powder. It's like, are you... It was dumb. It completely disgusted me. It made me feel like it was making people look, Mainers look dumb, in my opinion. The next one is a book that makes me angry, which I already unhauled it because it made me that angry, and that was Z for Zachariah. I read it for my stupid hiccups. My husband's reading vlog, reading his favorite books. But he didn't remember some of the stuff that happened in Z for Zachariah until I brought them up to him. So I don't know how much you can consider it a favorite book. It wouldn't have been so bad if there wasn't instances that could be considered problematic. And a trigger warning would have been nice. That's all. because there was a lack of a trigger warning, it made me angry. And then the fact that, like, this girl has gone through so much stuff and she's all alone, and then she finally finds another human, and that human turns to be a piece of shit. Yep. Yeah. It made me very angry. And last is Anticipation, a book I am really looking forward to. So I am not going to do like something that isn't out yet, because if we were doing that, then it'd be Nona the Ninth from Tamsin Muir, the next book in the Locked Tomb series. But I wanted to do something from my bookshelves that I could show off. And that would be The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This is in an empire ruled by bone shard magic. The former heir to the emperor will fight to reclaim her magic and her place on the throne. And it sounds really good. For some reason, between Harold the Ninth, the Bone Orchard, the Bone Witch, apparently I'm in like the mood for like necromancy, bone magic type stuff. But that's fine with me. So I was on the fence about this book and its whole series for the longest time. And then I saw someone talking about it on BookTube, and the things they were saying about it was like, okay, that might actually be a fantasy book that is right up my alley. So I had to pick it up. And I have the second book in the series right there, that really pretty blue. So yeah, hopefully it's as good as I think it's gonna be. But that is Pletchik's Wheel of Emotions, but J.D. Ray Reid's Bookish Wheel of Emotions. Tell me down below what books are on your Bookish Wheel of Emotions. But remember, until next time, you are loved and you are valid.